glad you could find time to join me today. This is The Point, and I am Miriam Agutun. My guest today was the first female presidential candidate in the 2007 general elections, and she's popularly known as the Iron Lady and also Mama Orange, or Mama Kenya. She is looking forward to having her name in the next general elections in August this year. Nazlin.
Thank you, Miriam. I'm honored to be with you.
It's an honor to have you here today. So you were the first female presidential candidate in the 2007 elections. What motivated you to run for the elections at that time?
My motivation was the neglect of women in parties, the neglect of women in the political spectrum, but on all political divide, the usage of women. You know, many women are the main mobilizers on the ground for politicians. They are the main voters. They're the majority of voters. But when it comes to being placed in the party or in powerful positions, you see women play the lesser gender role.
Second fiddles.
They're expected to play second fiddle. They're not expected to outshine the man. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are, how intelligent you are, how able you are. They expect you to shadow them, to clap for them on the podiums, and I never did that. For me, it was a sense of being a role model, a mentor for all humanity, and giving parallel change for leadership. In Kenya, we see leadership as dominion of rule.
Yeah.
I'm looking at giving servant leadership, and I think with the heart of a woman, being a woman who is not only who's not only able to deal with the crimes of corruption, abuse of office, incompetence, and abuse of power, and dealing with that with an iron fist, which I'm very capable to do, but I've also got the soft, loving heart of a mother to the whole nation.
Still pink and soft in the inside.
Yes, you need to be both, and I think that capacity I've only seen in me. The rest rule, I would like to serve. I think there's that difference, and I wanted to give that option to Kenyans. And I think history has judged us harshly. Had Kenyans done that, elected me for president, we would not be in the hell that we are today as a nation.
Okay.
Not only that, we would not have seen the violence we did, but then that 2007 general election was declared officially as a disputed general election. My votes were rigged also, not just Kibaki's or Raila's. Mine were also rigged.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and we'll get to that in a short while. But you were popularly known then as Mama Orange. So what has changed since then? What happened?
Oh, Mama Orange. You mean the fallout with Orange? The fallout with Raila? As I said, they're not ready to see you as an equal. They're not ready to see you bigger than them. They're not ready as a woman. They're not ready, no, as a leader, because you happen to be a woman.
So your gender is a factor?
My gender has been a big factor in seeking the leadership in this nation, and not amongst the voters, but amongst those who are holding the mantles of politics in their hands, and political party leadership. Not only my gender, my looks, my dear Miriam. You know, I mean, you're a beautiful woman.
You're pretty too. I mean, you look really gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. But in politics, my looks have not favored me.
Yeah.
Many times I say my beauty in the field of politics has been a quagmire, as is the tusk to the elephant and the horn to the rhino. Okay. It has been my biggest issue, because most of those men want to grab you and they expect you to compromise your beauty for them so that they can give you positions, and I've held on to my integrity, and I can say those are some of the reasons for my fallout with ODM, and those are some of the issues I have with some members of the Jubilee Party as well.
Okay.
And I think as we move closer to the general election, these things are going to show themselves clearly. For me, it has been very difficult, but I'm proud to continue suffering for other women as I pave way for them, on the thorny road. My residence was raided in 2012. In March, it was the end of March, 24th, 25th, my house was raided by police. Under police operation, they carried away 5 truckloads of all my belongings of my presidential secretariat and my residence on Garden Estate in Nairobi.
So seeing your history with the court and how, somehow they got to rule on your favor, I would say, but you've not recovered your stuff, and they said you should be given security, and it's not here. So should you be elected as the next president of this country, what are some of the things that you think you can change in the Kenyan judicial system?
First of all, one of the reasons they fought me hard is I was very vocal in fighting to clean the judiciary. I fought Mutunga very hard. I exposed him and I said he was part of a cartel. Everybody fought me hard. I have a court case going on that issue. One of the other reasons they fought me is part of that petition 306 of amended in 2012 was that all public and state officers who have run for state office and have questions of integrity surrounding their leadership in that office, questions of corruption around them, should not be cleared to run for the general election or any public office until a court process cleans them. And that is one of the reasons why they fought me so hard, because basically everyone who has stolen or been part of a theft or scandal cannot vie for public office. I've already started that process. I'm not going to start something different. I've fought corruption. I'm going to continue fighting that. I've fought for the upholding of human rights and respect of human dignity. I'm going to uphold that. I have built, what have I done? I've taken all my wealth, I've brought in donors, and I've gone to all parts of this nation, from Nyanza to every region. I've built projects. I've brought 10, 15 youth groups or women groups, registered CBOs together, and I've united them to start a kiosk, or bought some cows for dairy, or we have started a car wash, or we have bought electronic welding equipment for the youth, and we've done that, or we've built toilets so that they can make some money there. Some form of income generating activity is what I've done for the nation. So I will continue that in a bigger way, like with their own taxes. Now, for example, let me tell you, when you ask me what am I going to do about the judiciary, I have worked hard. I petitioned against Justice Smoky Wanjala when he wanted to vie, explaining his violation against me at the Supreme Court. Remember when I petitioned to be heard at the presidential petitions in 2012? He fought me hard. They treated me like a rogue. Paid to be heard. I'd paid my fees. I'd served as filed. The registrar gave me that date because I was raising a pre-issue before I was asking the CJ to disqualify himself, because in the other petition I talked about, he has defended Raila Odinga. So I was saying, you have already shown bias to one judge. Till today that case has not been heard. You have disbanded the judges. So that is one of the processes I've already done. And now we have Justice Maraga. I'm proud of Justice Maraga. I've had the honor of being before Justice Maraga on 2 separate occasions. On one on my matrimonial case, and one on my oppression with the car theft case and everything that I was oppressed. And I'm impressed to say he's a very sober man, very calm and very vibrant in his analysis of the facts before him, and his ability to rise above partisan politics. He never gives a biased opinion or favorable opinion. I think I can, and when you see he's the leader of the SDA church, I'm happy. He's a religious man. We need such people in powers, and I'm happy. There's hope in the judiciary with the presence of Justice Maraga. Yes, I believe there's hope.
So are there any lessons you've learned after 2007, the fallout?
Yes, there's a lot of lessons I've learned. I think my oppression has also taken me to a different dimension completely, and has opened a lot of doors internationally. As you know, I've received several global nominations for all this. I see another Nobel coming back to Kenya.
Some good news after all.
Yes, I have learned a bitter experience, and I've gained from it. I've not become embittered because of it. I've become wiser because of it. I think from the President, Uhuru Kenyatta. I was with him during ODM days. That time nobody wanted to know him. Kanu's chairmanship was stolen from him by Biwott. If you remember, Moi gave it to Biwott in his absence. Yeah. So we went on the streets at Uhuru Park to demonstrate against that. We were chased away by riot police. As we were coming towards Parliament holding hands, we were tear gas at the gates of Parliament. I was hit with 4 tear gases. Oh my God. I collapsed on the door of Parliament. Even my bodyguard ran away. I collapsed. I blacked out. Everybody ran away to the offices across the road where the small police station and the police station is. And later my daughter rescued me. She sensed something was wrong. She came back from Uhuru Highway with the car, drove through the GSU barriers, came out, picked me up, put me in the car, and drove me to the police station opposite. Oh, wow. I thought that was so brilliant. She deserves an award, not me. Yes. Yeah, obviously. A girl, and the cops, all the GSU riot police were shocked, like, what is this fair-looking, windy girl coming across these barriers? And I think they didn't shoot at her. Thank God she's alive. So after that, we spoke again. So, and I think during 2004, during the ODL, during the Constitution review referendum, who joined us as the Orange team? Yeah. And that time we had an agenda. We would got the whole nation together, and then every kingpin was supposed to go back to his stronghold. Yeah. And I remember calling Raila. I was already in Kisumu expecting me to fly down. I called him. I said, Raila, there's nobody in the Uhuru. None of these MPs are is really joining Uhuru. So then we decided I would join Uhuru. So I joined Uhuru. I remember Uhuru inviting me on the podiums, in the markets, in the stadiums. On top of pickups, we're talking to people in the marketplaces and all that. So we've come a long way with him.
Yeah.
And Ruto was with us in ODM as well. If you look at Mudavadi, joined us later. I've worked with Kalonzo as part of ODM. I've worked with Raila as head of Raila's think tank at Mama Orange as well.
Yeah.
So you can say I've learned the best and been with them all
of them.
And I've still felt from 2007 today that none of them qualified the mantle of leadership in this country, and that's why I'm running again.
So now that you've been around them and you've seen the kind of leadership they offer and all that, what makes you think your leadership is what Kenyans need at this point in time?
I think it is. If you've been, I invite all Kenyans to my massive, phenomenal website. It's like a portal, nazlinumar.com. Visit it. Let the world. That's what the world has said of Nazlin. Universities have written about me. USAID has written about me. Policy Project. Our former vice president has said so much about me. Mudi Awori. All their speeches, their opinions. The universities have written, published about me as a global role model. And that website tells you every project I've done all over the Kenya and what the Kenyans have said about me. The difference between me and any man or woman who'd ever stand in Kenya today, all these demagogues, these tin gods, you see them all over the place, who want leadership or who are in leadership of their parties or the nation, have used your money to build themselves, whereas I have used my own to build the nation. I think that's the difference. Our track record, if any of them stands up today and say they're all tycoons, they're billionaires, they have so much money, what have they done with their own money for Kenyans? Leave alone what they have stolen from Kenyans. All of them, all of the men mentioned, have got some form of heavy corruption facts on their CVs, whether it's May scandal or it's this scandal or NY scandal or some scandal or the other. My hands are clean. You've never elected me to public office. You can't say I've stolen anything. I've taken all my wealth and given it to you in projects all over the nation. My life is not a normal life. I have a mission from God to serve humanity as his slave. I received that message from God that knowledge from God when my last born son was about a year old. That's 22 years world record, global record. It was a mission. I received that knowledge from God in a kind of a semi-dream. I was awake, and from then you must start. Whatever you do, you must do in the name of God. Speak the truth, however bitter it may be. Defend the oppressed, whoever they are and wherever they may be, and that's what I do globally. Yeah.
So what do you think is ailing the current leadership of this country?
Greed and tribalism. I would say the two basic roots of evil of our nation is based on tribalism. Let me examine the Otamaki issue, or the cultists that I see in ODM supporters, is they are die-hard. It doesn't matter if Raila stole. It doesn't matter if Raila did evil. You must support him. Why? Because he's my tribesman. He's the lower leader. You go to the Kikuyus, the same thing. You must support Uhuru because he's ours, Mundu Wetu, whatever it is. But not all of them. Not all Kikuyus and not all Luos and not all Kampas are doing this. They are sick and fed up because they've realized at last some cultist diehards may be like that, but not all of them. So you can see tribalism is what has ruined our nation, has torn the nation, fabric's nation. When you say Uhuru is appointing only Kikuyus, okay, who is saying that? The pot is calling the kettle black, and Raila was appointed the Prime Minister. The fact is, he applied nepotism in giving all the international appointments of ambassadors to his own tribesmen, his brother, his sister, his cousin brothers, his nephew, his in-laws. No Luos benefited except for his relatives and his cronies. That is reality. So I'm saying, I think these are the two things and greed. Everyone wants to steal money from Wanjiko. Like I would say the bunch in Onasa today is a bunch of old diehards, old thieves. They've all stolen. All their hands are dirty. There's the Yala Ranch, if you ask about Kalonzo, how did he get it? There's the Tokyo issue with Utangula, the graveyard issue is the Lanata, whatever with Mudavadi, the Triton, the Goldenberg, and you look at Raila's scandal, there's a lot. So if you tell me you want to replace this leadership with what? With thieving skills that you've gained for years, instead of being role models to the younger thieves and turning them around, you want to tell me you want to take back leadership to go back to steal from Kenyans? That doesn't make sense to me. So much as I say, yes, we need an opposition to take over Kenya, the opposition is not NASA, it is not CORD, it is not Wiper, it is not Ford Kenya, it is none of those outfits. Yeah, I think it's time. The opposition in Kenya should be Wanjiko, and Wanjiko is represented through me. It's time to bring power back to the people, and I'm the only one who can do that. Yeah.
All right. So do you have like a running mate, or what's your manifesto in the first place?
First, I don't have a running mate yet, and I open the door to all Kenyans who are able, who believe you have the capacity. Contact me. I'm on Facebook. You can call me anytime. Get to my website. President Nazlin Umar is my Facebook or my page. Go there and get in touch with me. But we're still looking at that. I'd rather look at someone simple with integrity who has showcased some development in their lives. That's what's important for me. Clearly, it has to be a man, because we can't just be women.
Balance out.
To balance the gender act, and to be fair and balanced. So it has to be a man, it has to be a non-Muslim, it has to be a Christian to represent the rest, so that they don't feel it is just a Muslim outfit or just a woman outfit. We can't go that way. And I would like to look at a minority community, or those of the lesser votes. Let's try and give Kenyans an option. I'm not saying I'm blocking out Kikuyus or I'm blocking out Luos. No, I'm not. I'm just saying I'm welcoming minority communities, because it's where the people are. Let's be a voice of the voiceless. Yeah. What my manifesto for the nation is, when you say manifesto, it's a detailed document, you know. My key principles for this nation, my action points. First, I will fight corruption. As soon as I'm appointed, I will give a 2-week amnesty period for all those who have stolen from Kenya. You know yourselves through public office. I'm not going to go for the small fish, your officers in your offices and your PSs. I'm going to go for you, the CSs, and whoever it is who stole. You know yourselves, the governors, the MCAs, the senators, the MPs. You know yourselves. I'm going to give you a 2-week amnesty to return the stolen loot, and we will not touch you. If not, within 2 weeks, we will go to seize their properties and freeze their bank accounts while we press charges against them and bring them to courts. And I will also at that period notify the Director of Criminal Investigation, Mohoro, the Director of Public Prosecution, Tobiko, the EACC boss, and the IG, to put those files on my table at the end of that 2-week amnesty period. If not, I want to see their resignations on my table. It's as simple as that. We're going to go for the jugular. You know, that's the first thing for me. I'm going to criminalize corruption. The acts so far do not criminalize. Corruption is not seen as an act of theft. So we're going to criminalize it and even look at ways of giving it capital punishment. I think as a Kenyan in public office, if you're going to steal from Kenyans, we're going to know that you're going to go for life sentence or you're going to face the hanging act. I would reduce the salaries from the president to the grassroots by 1/3, if not 1/2. I would prefer to go for minimum wages. So we do away with the thieves. As soon as you declare minimum wages, you know, for public office, all the thieves will not even want to vie or will not want to be appointed, because they know now we can't get too much money. So the real people who want to serve humanity will be appointed. But that will be hard, because I'm sure they want to impeach me the next minute they get. So I would look at reducing the salaries at least by 50%, and all expensive 4-wheel drives, the guzzlers will go. No public officer will travel across all over the world if they have to for official purposes, except by economy class, because we are not a rich nation. We have to reflect who we are. There's going to be no newspapers to be bought, no flowers. Almost 100 million goes into flowers for offices, and people are dying without food. And as I declared that if you take all that money away, and you know, the devolution has helped to create corruption. Mm-hmm. I must say that devolution has failed Kenya. The devolved government has failed Kenya because of looting thieves have taken over public office. So I would say the government itself right now, whose government implemented devolution, but they failed to create national policies for devolution. To safeguard devolution, this government failed, but I will put down national policies. This is the amount going to devolution. The local county is raising this much on its own. I will want to know 6 priority areas the people will identify for their county, and that money will be divided accordingly, percentage to finance those. Okay. Only 20% should go to salaries, nothing more than 20%. So everybody's salaries will have to be reduced to fit within that bracket. 80% goes into the development agenda, and 20% or 25% goes into salaries. I'll be comfortable with that. So if this were in place, we would not have suffered so much. I don't see why the president still doesn't put that in place. I think that's a priority that I would do in place. So if you look at it, we're already fighting corruption, and we're streamlining. And how to fight corruption? I'm going to bunch some counties together. They'll remain independent as they are counties, but they'll be bunched in regionally, like 10 regions in Kenya. All the counties will be under that.
Provinces.
Maybe under some provinces, like Rift was too big, we'll divide that. Northeastern was too big, we'll divide it into 3. Rift into 3. So we'll have like 10 instead of the 8 that we had, 10 or 12, so that the bunches can have committee members sitting together to monitor. Now the members who will be in those groups will be local Kenyans, religious Kenyans from the church, from the mosque, and local members who will be monitoring the implementation of their monies into specific pockets. So we need an eagle eye. Who will also form an ad hoc committee as my advisors in the nation. I will also take part of that money in building capacity of my nation is making sure there's electricity and water in every household, and to make sure there's a house first before you talk of the household. Why can't we have high-rise economic structures built for the poor, so we don't have to have shanties? Shanties will be no more in my nation, I can assure you that. That's the first thing I'll tackle with corruption. And secondly, I promise as a president not to go on a 1 meal a day as president. I will go on a 1 meal a day as president until I make sure that each Kenyan is having at least one decent meal before they go to bed. That is my promise to you as a Kenyan, as a leader. And also job creation. You know, so many companies, international companies, have closed ship in Kenya and moved to Ethiopia, Tanzania, India, Pakistan, China, because the taxes have been, the countries have made it attractive to bring them on board. We are pushing our investors away. We are creating a high level of taxation upon them, and then we have looted money so much, so everything to buy locally is so expensive. Like when Cadbury Kenya closed, I'm sure the milk has gone too high, prices of cocoa importation to Kenya is too high, everything has gone so high, so they've had to close the ship. The profit margins have reduced, or they're going into losses. They're actually in the red, so they've closed their companies here. I would say I would give 2 years of free tax, no tax, to international companies to attract them to Kenya. And those in Kenya already are willing to open their factories into rural areas. I'll give them 2 years free taxation to encourage them to take their companies into rural areas, to bring jobs to the rural areas rather than just in Nairobi. Just to, and another thing, look at the whole of northeastern and Turkana region, the whole of the north of Kenya, the Rift in that area. Why can't we have 2 international airports, one in Turkana, one in Mandera or Garissa, or somewhere around above Garissa somewhere? Why can't we do that? They're all into cattle, right? We have cattle, we have the pastoralists. Why can't we build meat processing plants for them and leather processing plants for them? So all leather products are made there, hide, leather, meat processed into packages, into parts, into sausages or into patties, into drumsticks and all that, and processed to be exported. The northeastern could take the exports for the Arab world. The Turkana region could take the exports into Africa. I think this is possible, and like the SGR is trying to steal the port away from the coastal people, I can assure you that is a call for cessation. The coastal people are going to go violent and they'll break out and want to go independent. So rather than that, I would rather build the port, expand them, build more, another port in Lamu, strengthen the people. You can't take the port away from the coastal people. I mean, that's wrong. What we're going to say, what can we do for Naivasha? The rivers are dry, the lakes are dying, they're dead. The flower industry is going down. The pyrethrum industry is hardly there anymore. I remember when I was growing up, Kenya was known to be the main exporter of pyrethrum. You wonder what happened. So we want to strengthen that. Yeah, we want to strengthen that. And help in, maybe I would also look at in medical health care. What could I do in terms of medical health care? I could say, okay, we need to look for all that money that we have, we're going to put it into making sure that all the aged people are having free medical health care. The age, women age, men age, they need calcium, they need thyroid medication, women need medicine for menopause. Give it to them free, it's their right. And people living with disabilities and injuries are like health crises like HIV and cancer will have free health care from me. And what else would I say? How will I establish my youth, the women and the men? Take projects to them the way I'm doing now. Use the CDF, use the national funds to target youth. Take projects to the youth. Tell them to register as CBOs. Then you bring different tribes together. Luos, Kikuyus, Kisis, coastal people, Somalis. Let them register together and then finance them with maybe 500,000 shillings. Start a good project, a project where you've done a feasibility study, you have a good report. Finance them. Let them finance themselves and earn an income from that money. We'll kill two birds with one stone here. We'll kill hunger. We'll have fought employment and job. We'll have created jobs for the youth, and we'll have fought tribalism. If the youth are working to bring an income together, why will they fight each other? They'll never fight each other. They'll be business partners bringing an income home together. So these are some of the things that I promise Kenyans, of course. I would like to look at the rest: free maternal health care, a better education system. Will make sure. I do not promise laptops to Kenyans. I will even stop that project. Why should a child have a laptop? They'll look them at as toys and destroy them. Build proper schools. Equip the schools properly. Build IT labs. Perhaps look at the opportunity of saying the whole of Kenya, maybe we go, we have free internet or something that can enhance job and all that. Yes, and I'd also at that same time, because the internet has come in so strongly and betting has come in so strongly, I would say I will oppose betting in Kenya, because what is doing, our young boys and girls are not going to school. They've stopped going to school. They're using a little money. They're going to betting. They don't want to work. They think easy money comes, easy gambling. It's a form of gambling. I will not support that, and I will fight drugs in the same way. It's a vice to the youth. Betting is a vice to the youth.
Nazlin Umar, I don't even have anything else to add. So if you think she's going to make for your president in the next general elections, of course, your vote will be the deciding factor. It was an honor to have you on the show today.
Just to close, I'd like to say that Kenya, it doesn't matter if the votes are rigged. They may even bar me again from the general election. They may not give me a certificate of good conduct. I don't know. But I assure you, I'm going to build a parallel government in Kenya. It's not going to be unconstitutional, because it's going to be a people's vote. It's going to be a people's decision outside the electoral process. If the electoral process is going to oppress me and oppress women, then or oppress the voice of the Mwananchi, then we are going to build a parallel government, a shadow government nationally, and we are going to form the most powerful opposition known in the history of not only our nation but in the entire African continent, in the sense that rather than seeing an aggressive opposition presently with just talks of this Jubilee is stealing, Jubilee is doing this. No, we are going to say we are going to be doing things at the same time. If the money from the donors from World Bank and Europe is being stolen, then I'm going to go tell lobbying that money is not given to government. It comes directly to the people, and I will be the bridge between the donor and the people and bring them directly where it needs to go. So leadership doesn't come from the ballot. Leadership comes from God. This is an opportunity, Kenyans. I'm the salvation of Kenya. We need to make a tragic difference, but Kenyans need to note: do we elect Nazlin, who has no money, who has nothing wealth to declare, but we pick her as one of us, mtu mmoja wetu, or do we continue electing those men who come with big helicopters and big vehicles? Those are monies they stole from you. So you make the decision as Kenya. I'm here, your servant, and I'll continue serving you even outside the ballot.
All right, you heard it from her. And this has been The Point. I am Miriam Ogutu. It's bye-bye for now.